Should be as easy as flicking a switch.
We are Sue and Ian Mabberley, and we live in the Grwyne Fawr Valley on the eastern boundaries of the park in the Black Mountains. At 1200 feet here, we are probably closer to nature than many people, and we certainly see the effects of climate change on the seasons and the growing patterns in our garden. This video is mainly about us, but we are also part of a community-wide scheme looking at carbon saving and hydropower, particularly in installing a hydro scheme within the dam complex at the top of the valley.
We've got a large organic veg garden, and we've certainly noticed over the last few years how different the seasons are, the effects of climate change, from very mild winters to really wet summers and seasonal cold snaps. So that's been making us think about the fact that we all need to do something about reducing our carbon emissions. And then, of course, we were inspired by Grenville's really thought-provoking presentation. And the other inspiration, I suppose, was the cost of the last refill of our central heating oil tank. Going green wasn't entirely new to us, of course. The house is mainly double glaze, and we had quite a lot of energy-efficient light bulbs. We've also had wood-burning stoves for some years, and we grow a lot of our own vegetables.
Going green also includes things like having your own eggs from your own chickens.
Oh, it's 4 today.
4? That's pretty good. This is Annie and Zebedee, who hopefully will be producing as lambs for the freezer for later on this year. Very few food miles on this. This will be going in the oven a bit later on. A nice roast pork leg. Looking forward to it. It was born not far away and raised at the end of the garden. Real food. Forever carrying wood. Keeps me fit though. The frogs love the clarity of the water in the pond. It's only just been relined, so it's not at its best. The frogs don't seem to mind too much. There were hundreds in here the other day, and there's fawn everywhere. Looking across the garden on this lovely March the 1st, St David's Day, and there on the line is the washing blowing nicely in the breeze. We don't have a tumble dryer. We much prefer to do things naturally.
Over the years that we've been here, we've been inspired by the really unpredictable summers that we've had to introduce major water recycling facilities here. We've got loads of these old oak barrels, and also some very big tanks that we've required to take the runoff water off the really big sheds that we've got here. The other thing we've been doing is using the wood chip that we generate from producing all the firewood, because obviously the brush and the twigs and stuff you have to do something with, to put the wood chip on the paths in the garden, and that's proved to be really successful.
So what else have we done? Well, we've improved the insulation in here in the loft with nearly a foot of locally sourced and very environmentally friendly sheep's wool fleece. So not only does the Raybone supply hot water for baths and hot and washing, but also we're now cooking on it. It can be a bit of a problem because we're both out at work all day, and sometimes it takes a while before we can eat in the evening, having to rev it up to get it hot enough to cook. But I think that's worth the effort. We're also doing our best to work from home whenever we possibly can, and also at work to video conference, to car share, and to take the train. It all goes to helping to cut down our carbon footprint. And our latest addition to Going Green is solar panels, which come the summer should be supplying us with most of our hot water.
like solar panels comes at a cost, and not everyone's in a position to be able to do that. Ian keeps reminding me how expensive all of this has been. We're fortunate we're in a position where we can afford to do it, but not everyone can. For example, when we put in our loft insulation, it was quite difficult to find out whether we were eligible for a grant and where to get the grants from. And with the solar panels, in fact we found we couldn't have a grant, but with the solar panels again it wasn't easy to find out where we could get a grant from.
In future, it would be much simpler if all these sorts of things could be built into houses at new build stage. It's so much quicker and simpler and cheaper to actually build in rather than trying to retrofit. So what are the savings we've made so far? Well, it looks like our oil consumption is down by about 3/4.
Our electricity, we think we're down, judging by the bills, about 20%.
And we're also hopefully going to be down by about 1/4 on our car fuel bills. The lessons, plenty of lessons to be learned from this. The first one is don't do everything all at once. If you do everything all at once, it's very difficult to work out what it is that's actually making you the main savings. Don't do it during the coldest spell for 10 years. It got down to -10 up here. That's pretty chilly. And if you're relying on alternative energies to heat at that sort of level, you've got to shovel a lot of wood. And also don't do it at Christmas when you've got loads of guests around, coming in, going out, turning lights on, leaving things going. If they don't understand, your bills and all your best efforts will go amiss.
I think for me, the most important lesson I've learned is to think about what you can do in your particular circumstances. Not everybody can do everything that's recommended to reduce their carbon footprint. For example, we're very fortunate we've got a large vegetable garden and we can grow a lot of our own vegetables, but not everybody is in that position. Things like firewood, again we're fortunate to have access to our own firewood which we process ourselves, and that can be very time consuming, and we're also physically fit enough to be able to do it, and of course not everyone's in that position. So really think about what you can do, what's feasible in your particular circumstances, I think is the most important lesson.
So what else could we do? Well, it'd be very useful to have broadband here, but it doesn't quite reach this far up the valley so far. And that would really facilitate home working, and that would save a lot of car fuel, because I travel to Cardiff every day. That's a large amount of fuel every week.
And I suppose what I hope you've got from this small snapshot of what we're doing is what's possible for individuals to do as part of a community. What you've seen is just a few things we've been doing, and other people in our valley community of the Grwyne Fawr have also been doing their bit. I suppose looking forward, what we really hope we'll be able to do is to work with Welsh Water to encourage them to allow us to work with them to have a community hydro scheme at the reservoir similar to the one in Talabont, and I think that would really energise our local group, and it would be wonderful if we could actually become a carbon neutral community.
Yes, that would be absolutely wonderful if we can just get all these people to agree that what we need is something green for the future. What else can we do? Well, I'm sure there's lots of other things, and I'm sure other people will come up with other ideas. But for the moment, thank you for listening to us tonight, and have a drink on us. Sorry we can't be with you.